Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. So just keeping tally on the different places Charles Barkley has been spotted around the Twin Cities the last couple days, Pat.
All right.
We've seen people take selfies with him at Red Cow in the North Loop,
That's
at
not bad.
the downtown Target last night. He was roaming around.
So was
Really?
Robert Downey Jr. Did you guys see that?
Robert Downey Jr.'s in town.
In town for some event.
Yeah.
Okay.
And J.D. Hoyt's. Chuck was at J.D. Hoyt's apparently last night.
Now, J.D. Hoyt's would have been my first guess for Chuck. So when he comes to town and they say, "Where can I get some good meat?" I'm sure somebody said you can go to J.D. Hoyt's. That's good. That's a triumph for Pat and the gang over at J.D. Hoyt's to get. I'm sure Charles was treated very well. I hope he knew about the Buddy Bowl. Somebody told him about the Buddy Bowl.
He's from SEC territory. I think somebody tipped him off to the Buddy Bowl. Yeah.
He mentioned after the post game of Game 1 that he went to Manny's, I believe, for dinner on the off day too. So he's been to Manny's too.
Yeah. Well, Manny's that's pretty good. But if you're gonna eat something with a Cajun Alabama twist to it, you got to go to Hoyt's. So that's good. He's the nice thing to see about Chuck is he's putting the pounds back on again. Didn't he do a diet ad and he lost a lot of weight,
wasn't
right?
he? Was it the one with like Dan Marino or
Yeah.
Oh, just a couple of years ago, he was really in good shape.
I think he went to the Duke Fat Farm, right?
Oh, did he?
He did a whole thing on TV one time talking about how he had embarrassingly allowed himself to get so fat and that he was and that he had to clean his act up and that he was going. And I think he went to the Duke weight loss clinic at the time. But now he's eating real good here.
Yes, he's back. It's he just has too big a personality not to eat a lot, doesn't he? I mean, he just goes everywhere. So it's what a character he is, man. And he was even willing to embarrass himself by having that show on the Golf Channel, getting golf lessons from Hank Haney, and the worst swing in the history. But I mean, he's the only guy I know I wouldn't trade swings with. It was the worst. It had like 6 pieces to it and stopped and everything. And he wanted to be able to play in these pro-ams and stuff without humiliating himself, but he never got to that point. I don't think he did. He might have played in that thing out in Lake Tahoe once and shot like 108 or some damn thing, I think.
But the spectators, man, like that's those pro-ams make me nervous because I mean, even the guys who are better than Barkley, you get a little nervous. You hook a drive, and there's a family about 30 yards to the left.
100%.
The kid hit a baby in the head, something like that.
I know,
It'd be
it's
bad,
ridiculous.
with a line drive. It's it is a little dangerous to say the least. Of course, nobody knows it better than me, having pretty much ended my career at the Pro-Am when I hit the defending champ in the knob of his ankle with a screaming line drive. That pretty much ended. Wayne Levy, the dullest man in golf, dude, a guy with no sense of humor, baby. He was still mad at me when I went back over and talked to him in August, and this was in June when I hit him. So
poor guy. We also, by the way, I saw someone post a selfie with Kyrie Irving. I think they were just walking around like the Nicollet Mall area, and Kyrie was out there with a little like strap backpack, enjoying the 80 degrees in sunshine. Yeah, are you offended that the NBA and TNT, a lot of Wolves fans are not happy that Draymond Green, after suffering multiple suspensions because of violent behavior, choking Rudy Gobert, that they are featuring him inside our arena on national TV? Does that offend you at all?
I don't think, because it's here, but I do wonder about the choice of bringing him in as to be their guy after his behavior is inside. I don't know, off the ring he hasn't had many problems. Outside of the court, off the court, has he? I don't know if he's had many problems.
No, it's weird. Most of his assaults happen on the basketball court.
On the basketball court, but he is. I don't think we should be offended because it's here. I think people, if they want to just question the NBA picking the loose cannon of all time. But that's barstool sports too, right? I mean, that's the way we function now. So I'm not offended. I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm not. I think I think we're very upset though that not enough people have. We love whenever we have a big event and they're way back. They're so far back in our past they're hard to remember. But we always become convinced that the announcers are against us, right? But
Reggie Miller apparently has
in this
been.
case, Reggie Miller to me has been wonderful to the Wolves. When I've heard him, I thought he's been great.
It goes
But
back to the
now
first part of the season where he put his Western Conference tiers. It was like the first week of the year, and he ranked the top 10 teams in the Western Conference and didn't include the Timberwolves in the top 10 teams.
well, and then he was, we were the 16th choice to win the NBA title when the season started. What do you tell me anyone in this town legitimately can say they expected this? They're lying. So,
Yeah.
Reggie Miller's been great to him. I think Reggie Miller does a really good job. And the games I've watched, I have not heard anything that I could take as offensive to our Wolves. In fact, I'd say I'm more offensive to the Wolves than most of the commentators have been. So,
But we always find one
stinker.
We always find one guy. Like it's either Joe Buck or Jack. In '91, we were convinced Jack Buck hated us.
Yeah,
we always find one guy and we pick Jack Buck.
Jack Buck doesn't hate anybody. He just wanted a cocktail. He didn't care. And
just wanted an old fashioned.
He was great. Yeah, he was great. And we're still mad at Joe because he called out Randy Moss for being a complete jackass, which Randy Moss was. So
and by the way, Joe Buck, I mean, in terms of making amends, Joe Buck a few months ago, I think it was November, he came on Purple Daily for a half hour. He was excellent. And unprompted, he said, man, I think if I could have one call back in my career, it would be that Randy Moss call. He goes, I didn't know the background. Even I go back and listen, and it's kind of cringy when I hear myself 20 years later. Back off Joe Buck, people. He's a friend of Purple Daily.
Well, the other thing is he's had a lot of humor about it, of his unpopularity with segments. Didn't he go on the Brockmire? I think he went on to Brockmire to make fun of the whole shtick. And if you went on Brockmire and let them have fun with you, if ever a show should have ended after 2 years, though, it was Brockmire.
Yeah.
The first 2 years of Brockmire were fantastic. And then all of a sudden, we were having aliens on it or something. The last 2 years were horrible. But the first two were great, man. They were fantastic. I don't know. Fans they just want to be, I saw somebody suggest that the Wolves got beat because of bad calls. The goaltending, you can question it. It's 50-50. But, I mean, the goal, not giving Cat that basket, but what bad calls?
The worst, I agree. I mean, bad calls weren't why they lost the game, but there was the subtle but effective push by Mike Conley. And then, of course, He did push. I mean, people dug up some Luka Doncic offensive subtle but effective pushes from the game. I mean, if we're gonna call subtle, and by the way, I agree with Pat. Like, I'm not here to bitch about officiating, but if we're gonna call subtle but effective nudges in the NBA, we can't even get through a possession without a whistle being blown.
Oh God, yes, yeah. Well, although yesterday we did agree that he was being sarcastic when he said that. Subtle, but
that's true.
This is not trolling. This is not something in the NBA rule book. Subtle but effective, or what's the one that you're using all the time now? That the term they're using for a foul when they wave off a foul. What's the?
Oh man, it's.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but
right.
We'll probably hear it tonight in a review.
Yes. That basically, yes, they fouled him, but it didn't have effect on the play, right? I don't know. We love to complain. And Al Michaels, we were mad at Al Michaels way back in '87 too, and I'm not really sure why that.
Al hated you though, right?
Yeah, I wrote a column about basically saying that what do we care what Al Michaels says? Who cares? Yeah, he started screaming at me down at the batting cage because
What?
he said he said he read my stuff and he'd always respected me, which was his first lie. You know, he never knew who I was until he read it in the paper here in '87. Yeah, I took some shot at him. I can't remember what it was about. It was taking a shot at the fans, but saying, you know, well, why? Who cares what Al Michaels is saying about, that you're somehow interpreting it. If somebody screws up and he points it out, we're offended, right? I don't. Fans are. You know what? I think fans are a lot goofier now than they were then too. Don't you think? Because of, I mean, you guys, Judd was around '87. You guys were young punks.
Well, everyone has
But
a voice now, and so
yeah, that's the reason.
people want to project that voice. Yeah.
And we still take what we see on social media as the entire fan base, right? We interpret that to be the entire fan base, and sometimes it's not. But yeah, I didn't. I think Draymond's a bad choice just because of his history, and you're kind of, you suspend him indefinitely, and then they're bringing him out because they might get if he can give him a .2 better rating share for that show, they don't care.
At this point,
Anything that gives you a little better rating share. But
yeah. Well, so by the way, Barkley went on. Was it Rich Eisen or Dan Patrick? Dan Patrick yesterday, and just absolutely torched his bosses at Turner for bungling this and telling the world they don't need the NBA at Turner, and then he was sort of spitballing and saying maybe I'll just hire Ernie and Shaq and Kenny to my production company and we can all four go somewhere else after that show is going to be unhinged next year because there's nothing to lose.
They have a year left and then they're going to announce.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're going to announce the change before, right?
They are.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, in the next month or so.
Their new TV deal is being negotiated right now for the NBA.
Correct.
So, well, they're going to go where the money is. That's all that
Streaming.
cares about. Streaming.
Amazon Prime.
Streaming's going to get part of it, and NBC or something like that. Together.
It winds up being like a $7 billion chunk over the duration of the rights. And there's some capologists projecting that the next Supermax contracts are going to lead players into the $90 to $95 million per year salary range.
Now, hey, so Ant's second teamer, so he gets 5% raise of the entire salary cap, right?
Yeah.
So does that just put him more than 109 million that they're over the
with that thing? And with if there's even like some players get bonuses, like Mike Conley gets hefty bonuses if they advance to the finals. So with all these little things, it definitely pushes them further toward into the second apron luxury tax. Yeah.
So the NBA, if you pay a guy that then becomes a greater player, you're paying a penalty for being right about him, right? So
yeah, but you probably build that into your calculus, don't you? I would hope. I'd hope the capologist for an NBA team would be like, he could make third team NBA, and we should account for the raise.
That's it. Third team. Second team though is 5% of the cap, which next year will be what 190 million or something like that. So that's a pretty good raise.
Yeah,
he can afford a lot of girlfriends with that much money. So.
Jeez.
Well,
yes,
but how about cars? Let's just say cars.
I hope they play smarter this time. And Coach Finch, who after the game was asked about 49 threes and stuff like that, and he kind of said we could have taken more. One of the first times I've seen him post game pull punches, because he didn't pull punches any time yesterday, telling how disgusted he was with the performance. That's probably as bad as he's been talking about him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My theory that I told Phil Pat was this. I think that he saw the opportunity, because it was a close loss, to dump on them pretty hard because they didn't get blown out. If you get blown out, you sort of treat the team with kid gloves because you
Yes,
don't want to impact their psyche. I think this loss was a perfect time for him to sit down with the film and then publicly lambast them in hopes that what we see in game 2 is much different.
well, the Western Conference Finals, and they gotta, maybe they'll figure out they're playing in the Western Conference
That's a great
Finals.
quote.
It was pretty good, but I also think watching it on tape about 3 times, he realized how rotten they played. And they only lost by 3 points. So that if Jaden McDaniels hadn't been throwing in threes, it would have been 15 points. They were terrible. I thought they really played. I was never impressed with them all night. And Rudy was running all around the court like he was going to make some plays, getting the ball 12 feet from the basket. Don't catch it if they throw it to you there. Let it go, and maybe it'll bounce over to somebody who can do something with it. Because I just thought they really, were now, bad legs, whatever it was. I don't know. They just weren't real aware, and kind of like. When we were really over our skis with optimism before Game 3 in the Denver game, and they didn't show up. So they showed up, but it was not a crisp performance at all. And Finchie coming out and letting them have it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. You know who else always shows up, unlike the Timberwolves, who sometimes show up, apparently, is the Valley Auto Group, Pat. That's who shows up.
That is right. Jim Paul and Brett Paul, the Valley Group of GM dealers. There's a store in Hastings, and the guys I go to in Apple Valley, been buying my cars there for 12, 13 years. I think 5 so far. And also, relatives, friends have gone there. Reavers is driving a Valley vehicle, and they'll make a great deal for you. They have full complement of stock on the lot right now. All the vehicles that were hard to find during the pandemic, the SUVs, and the big old Yukons, and also they have heavy duty trucks like the Sierra, the GMC Sierra, and low interest rates now, 0.9%, 1.9% if you qualify. Factory rebates that were not around when the pandemic was. Jim Paul never charged a premium, but now the rebates from the factories are there for you. So it's really a great time to buy a vehicle. And, maybe, as I said the other day, maybe you can get it in Wolves colors. I don't know. Maybe that's possible.
Well, some custom trim. Yeah. Let's go.
Yes. So anyway, I can't recommend them highly enough. This is not a guy who's just talking about somebody. I buy my cars there.
Yeah. Are you going to be there tonight, or are you going to be at the block party across the street? What's your game plan?
I'm not. I think I'm. Does anyone? I got a question for you guys. Anybody parking ramp A on?
Yeah.
What they didn't have the sign out. What were they charging us?
20.
Oh, they were charging 20.
It's still 20. It's 20 now.
Okay.
But this is a Twins and Wolves game, so are they going to up that price?
I doubt it.
I don't think the Twins give them much.
I don't think they
ammunition.
can. I wonder if they can do that. The Twins would not be happy if they juiced it up, I would think. I don't know about getting out of ramp A tonight, though.
Yeah.
Strap in.
If you got a lingering Twins crowd with a Timberwolves crowd, and Twins might have a good crowd because it's Star Wars night.
Oh, let's go.
I'm not too concerned about the Twins crowd, Pat.
It's starting to.
Haven't even thought about it.
Well, I bet they got over 20. I bet they got 20 something.
Friday night fireworks tonight too. I think
Friday night fireworks.
Oh, let's not have those.
Star Wars night, the whole thing. Are they going to shoot them? Yeah, they'll shoot them off. What
They'll
the hell?
shoot 'em off. Yeah.
Even that could cause more problems for the roof at Target Center, though. That's.
I was going to say, if you do
Have
come, bring your umbrella. Bring your umbrella.
I'd forgotten. I think I might have said this. I'd forgotten that they put sod on the roof.
Yeah.
That they got the new sod roof there, so it'll keep that moisture for you. And then everybody starts making noise, and it can come dripping through this old roof that they have up there. It's
all on purpose, Pat. It's all on purpose.
Oh,
Let's-
they get a new stadium.
The old building's falling apart. What are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to play?
You think Mark Lowry and A-Rod said, "Yeah, let's put a sod roof on this thing"? I don't think so. I don't know.
So,
I don't know. We're just trying to be environmentally sound, and we were environmentally stupid. Is the problem. You know, I'm a big guy, believer in the environment, but let's not do idiotic things because of it. For
Let's not.
instance, Highway 55. Let's take a a lane away for several blocks to make it 2 lanes for the bikes to be environmentally sound. Except now everybody can sit in traffic and idle and have the and instead of taking 6 minutes to go downtown, you can take 25 sitting in traffic, and we can send those lovely fumes into the sky. Another great decision by our morons. So
There he is, everyone. Patrick Reusse here on this
who
Friday.
do you like tonight? I think I
like the Wolves.
I like the home team tonight. I think
Yeah.
I like the home team. They're going to play a lot better and a lot smarter, which is even more important.
Yes, play smart. Play smart,
Yes.
Timberwolves. All right, Pat. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk soon.
Right.
There he is, Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold.